Have you ever ignored a red flag and later said, I knew it, not, I figured it out, not, I was surprised. You said, I knew. So here's my question. If you knew, why did you stay? Welcome back. I'm Law, author of Enunciate Your Needs and Practices for Presence. And if you haven't copped it already, Consent. This is my not for resale version. I had to make sure it was copacetic, and it is. Today, we're talking about something almost everyone has experienced. Red flags. Not because we are foolish. Not because we are weak. Because we are human, okay? So let's break the fourth wall collectively by clearing something up. Red flags aren't always hidden. Sometimes they're waving like they're directing traffic. And somehow we convince ourselves they're probably just friendly. Be honest. Have you ever ignored a red flag because you hoped things would change? Yes or no? Drop it below. Now here's what I believe. Most people don't ignore red flags because they don't see them. They ignore them because they don't want them to be true. And this is where erotic intelligence enters. Because we often confuse three different voices: our intuition, our emotions, and our imagination. They're not the same. Now let's break them down together. We're going to start with intuition. Intuition whispers consistently, without drama. It simply says, hey, or psst, pay attention. Now emotions negotiate. They didn't mean it. Or they've had a hard life. I understand them. Or they're just scared. They didn't mean it. Or maybe it'll get better. Now imagination, imagination creates futures that don't even exist yet. We're going to build something amazing together. They don't understand. We'll be different. Or they'll change. I just know it. And sometimes you're dating a forecast, not a person. And yes, there are exceptions. But I'll leave it there. Power moment. The most dangerous relationship is one between your imagination and someone else's inconsistency. And this is where personal reflection matters. And I will share. I've had seasons where I looked back and realized the red flags weren't red because they were hidden. They were red because I painted over them. I painted over them with hope. I painted over them with chemistry. Our chemistry is amazing. Painted over with the P word, potential. Gotcha. I painted over with attraction. I painted over with history. I'll keep it a buck. I painted over with loneliness. And not because I was stupid, but because I wanted the story to end differently. It's gonna be different this time, right? Remember when I talked about Sour Patch Kids? Still one of my faves. They're first sour, then they're sweet. That combination hooked me as a kid. It was like a shell shock to my senses. Well, some relationships work the same way. The emotional sting followed by affection. Chaos followed by comfort. Distance followed by attention. Eventually, your brain starts craving the cycle. Not because it's healthy, because it's familiar. Now, sometimes we don't fall in love with the person. We fall in love with the relief. And now a question that often we ask ourselves, or those on the outside looking into our relationship often ask, why stay? Why do we stay? People stay for different reasons, right? But some of those reasons are hope, history, children may be involved, fear, loneliness, chemistry, potential. But here's another reason: identity. Sometimes leaving requires admitting this isn't who I thought they were. And yes, that acknowledgement, that acceptance can be painful. But tell me, what's harder, seeing the red flag or accepting it? Drop one word below. I'm curious. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned is that clarity protects us. If you don't ask questions, you'll answer them with assumptions. If you don't communicate, your imagination fills in the blanks. And that is why I wrote Enunciate Your Needs, because clarity is one of the greatest forms of self-respect. And there's more to that. Presence. And that's also why presence matters, because intuition doesn't yell, it whispers. You can't hear whispers when your life is full of noise. Noise from social media, friends, fear, fantasy, validation, loneliness. Loneliness is like white noise, blocks everything at times. Presence quiets the room, so intuition finally has a chance to speak. And this is a part of the episode where I really want us to focus on this refrain that we're about to discuss together. Red flags aren't punishments. They are information. That's all. Information. The question isn't, is this person bad? The question is, what is this information trying to tell me? Again, if you remember going back a couple of seasons, the obsidian pill, that's my mindset. The obsidian pill forces you to go within. You're not pointing fingers. You're doing the work. So what is this information trying to teach me? And this is also why I wrote my upcoming book, Consent. It's actually out now by the time this episode airs. Because one of the biggest violations of consent is when we override our own. The body says no. The spirit says no. Your intuition says no. And your emotions keeps negotiating. Now we're ruminating. Now we're in the cycle. And let's be honest, sometimes the red flag isn't the other person. Sometimes it's us carrying a paintbrush, painting every red flag green. It happens. So maybe the goal isn't becoming better at spotting red flags. Maybe it's becoming brave enough to trust yourself when you do. Your intuition isn't trying to control your life. Your intuition is trying to protect it. Your intuition sees patterns before emotions catch up. Your intuition notices inconsistencies before your heart admits it. Your intuition whispers patiently, waiting for you to listen. So the next time something feels off, don't rush to explain it away. Pause. Do your breath work. 4 seconds in, 4 second hold, 6 second release. Become present. Ask better questions. Communicate clearly. Observe consistently. And trust yourself enough to hear the whisper. Remove the noise. Your intuition whispers. Your emotions negotiate. Your future depends on which one you keep listening to. Choices. CTA. What's one red flag you ignored that later became one of your greatest teachers? Share only what you're comfortable sharing. Your lesson might become someone else's protection. Peace.